Hey, thanks, Cade. We know you wanted to be on this week's pregame show, but that ship has sailed. And just like Minnesota, we're rowing the boat without you.
But before we get into Iowa's showdown with number 8 ranked Minnesota, let's see how Iowa women's basketball fared against underrated, high-octane North Alabama squad.
They were tested for the first time this season last night as the Lions came ready to play.
Both teams started and finished the game hot. The Hawkeyes were led by their seniors Mackenzie Meyer and Kathleen Doyle. Meyer dropped 21 points along with 7 rebounds, and Doyle added 20 points of her own with 7 assists.
There were a few moments when the Hawks seemed like they were going to pull away, but the Lions kept fighting back. It came down to big second halves from Meyer and Doyle, along with some clutch late free throws to give the Hawks a 5-point win, 86-81.
Once I saw my first 3 go down, I was cold in the first game too, and then the first half I missed a 3, so I was just ready to see a 3 fall, and once I saw that lid come off the hoop, I felt a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, we knew they were a really good team coming in. I mean, they went into Vandy and beat Vandy the first game last year, so they're not going to back down to anybody. They're not going to be intimidated. When you have 5 seniors that have played as much time as they have, you know, they're not going to back down to anybody, and so this is exactly what we expected as far as that.
Next, the Hawkeyes will travel north to Cedar Falls to take on the UNI Panthers. Well, John, it's that time again for the pregame show.
Right you are, Zach. Iowa will face an undefeated 8th-ranked Minnesota team, and this game is going to be a huge test for the Hawks after coming off a tough loss at Wisconsin.
Well, head coach Kirk Ferentz knows the Golden Gophers rarely make mistakes and are dominant in all 3 phases of the ball.
And I think that the overriding impression is the big thing. They're not going to beat themselves. They play smart football. They're playing really good football. And, so if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to really earn it. And for us, that's going to require us to play well in all 3 areas, certainly play as well as we have all season long. They don't beat themselves. A big part of that's the quarterback play. He's really done a good job. He's a young player, but he's not playing like a young player, and that's really impressive. And they've got good guys to throw it to, too, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. They've got a good run game and good pass game, so they're very balanced that way.
Speaking of that player, let's talk about the quarterback with 2 first names.
Who, Nate Stanley?
Yes, but no. Minnesota quarterback Tanner Morgan. Morgan has only 4 picks on the season and has thrown for over 2,000 yards with 21 touchdowns.
Along with their passing game, John, the Golden Gophers are putting work in on the ground. Minnesota's 3 running back set are averaging over 5.3 yards a unit. So it's safe to say the Hawksville defense will have their hands full.
He's very good on the RPO stuff, very good on his reads. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think he's only thrown like 4 picks this year. So, I mean, very, very smart dude. Very, he works well in the offense. He goes out there and gets done what he has to get done.
It will be critical for Iowa's defense to make their presence known early in this game. Minnesota has talented wide receivers and a very, very physical front 5 on the offensive line that's only allowed 1 sack in the last 4 games.
Sophomore Jaimin Colbert and senior Cedric Lattimore both know they will have their work cut out for them on defense.
This is the best receiving group that we've seen so far. I mean, I think we could all agree on it. Their productivity so far this year has been through the roof. They make some amazing plays out there, and credit to those guys. They've been getting it done this year.
They have big guys up front, big guys that can move well, and they run their scheme well. They run everything they do well. So, we got to be the little things. We have to be in our gaps. We have to be fighting every play, swarming to the ball every play.
But really, when it comes down to it, this game will have to rely on Iowa's offense to be more aggressive, make plays, and score more touchdowns than they are field goals.
That's right, John. Iowa's offense will have to get creative and figure out different ways to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. And quarterback Nate Stanley knows that they will have to come out fast out of the gate.
We just have to really push ourselves and know that, we're playing to be the best we can be. And, we still have the opportunity to win 10 games this year. That's a great accomplishment. And, that's one of our goals. To be able to do that, we have to come out and play extremely hard and physical and be totally prepared from the start.
Now, Zach, it's time for predictions. A lot of people think Iowa gets handed a loss here, and I concur. 27-17 Minnesota.
I agree with you, John. Cade, back to you at the desk.